Hello. This video today is going to talk about a couple important things about the loan forgiveness programs. We're going to talk about 4 important dates for those who qualify for forgiveness, also entering repayment. We're going to talk about the states that are considering taxing the loan forgiveness. That's really important. And I want to briefly address some of the political things happening to challenge the forgiveness program. Political pundits are saying it's unlikely that it will be able to be challenged, but I just wanted to mention that briefly as well. So we're going to talk about 3 things today. First and foremost, the important dates of the forgiveness programs. Number 1 is early October because that's when they release the application for forgiveness. The second is November 15th because we encourage all borrowers who qualify for some form of forgiveness to apply by November 15th because you want to have your servicer consider forgiveness before we get kicked into repayment. You don't want to be kicked into repayment and have to pay on a loan that should be eventually forgiven, right? So it's really important that you apply for the forgiveness if you are a candidate who does not have, only 8 million people have submitted their income to the Department of Ed to date. So 35 million have to submit this application between early October to November 15th. Otherwise, you may need to make a payment come January. So that's really important to know. Second of all, just know the date, December 31st, is the last day of zero interest. So if you're not going to get all your debt forgiven ahead of December 31st, January, we will all need to start paying again. And then lastly, the last date to remember is December 31st of 2023, which is next December, not this coming one, but next one, because that's the last opportunity that we all will have to apply for the 10 to 20,000 of forgiveness. So those are the 4 dates. Early October, November 15th, because you want to apply for forgiveness before November 15th, before we have to start paying again December 31st. Remember December 31st because that's the last day of $0 payments and 0% interest. And then we have until next December to apply for the 10 to 20 of forgiveness. The reason I don't recommend applying for your forgiveness into next year and not as soon as possible is because you don't want to start making payments before you qualify for the relief unless you know you still have a balance remaining after the 10 to 20, in which case applying ahead of the end of this year isn't as urgent. But if I were you, I'd apply as soon as possible. You want to apply, possibly get it forgiven. Who knows what kind of legal challenges are going to come up. Why not get the forgiveness as soon as possible, right? Unless you know there's going to be some kind of tax implication in your state, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay, the second thing I said we're going to talk about is taxation. So let me just make my screen a little smaller here. So states in which you may owe taxes. This is an article. And there's 13 states that are thinking about implementing taxation on loan forgiveness. So even though the federal government won't tax you, your state could possibly tax you. So Arkansas will possibly tax you. California will possibly tax you. Indiana will tax you. Massachusetts will not likely tax you. Mississippi will tax you. North Carolina will tax you. Wisconsin may tax you. Let's see. Sorry, a bunch of ads are popping up here. Let me get out of this ad. Or maybe that's all the states listed for now. But for example, if you get scholarship for school, you get that T form, T1068 or something like that, in which they do tax you for grants and scholarships. So the idea that your education is taxed is not new. So, but of course, it's interesting that the more conservative states, of course, are looking into taxing. So just know that this is a possibility that you may owe taxes on this 10 to 20,000 of forgiveness. So I just wanted to mention that as well. Then lastly, I want to talk about the states that are challenging the federal government right now. Here, I have all these articles. There's 22 Republican governors who are basically challenging this administrative ruling right now. And um, that is, you know, a lot of, I would say not all conservative states have conservative governors, but it does look like that's the majority on this list. Um, it's Iowa, Arizona, Georgia, Missouri, New Hampshire, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Wyoming, Alabama, Arkansas, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, South Carolina, Texas, Alaska, Florida, Maryland, Nebraska, Ohio, South Dakota, Utah. I did not name all the governors in those states. I'm just naming the 22 states who are getting together and signing a letter, 22 Republican governors. So that's literally almost half of the governors are coming together attempting to think about how to challenge the Biden administration on the student loan forgiveness. I don't think it's going to go far because I think a relief that gives tangible benefit to a large population, it's unpopular to challenge it. And I'm not talking about this from a from a from a political side, like I'm a Democrat versus I'm a Republican. I'm just talking about this like this is why Republicans will never challenge Social Security, for example, is because it's such a popular universal program for that everyone can benefit from, although student loan relief is not a benefit for all. It is a huge social program that benefits so many people that it can be politically unpopular to cut it because it's not to challenge it because it's not like only Democrats get student loan forgiveness or and no Republicans, because our graduation rates are pretty low. It's about 60%. So millions of people that are getting forgiveness have never finished college. A large population of Americans start college and don't finish that will benefit, and a lot are part of the Republican Party as well. So it's not just like it's not just like a straight down the political line. If you're a Democrat, you get advantage of this, and if you're a Republican, you're not. So I think in many ways, politically, this is a study of, it's a political study in many ways of if a president gives a type of relief, can it tangibly move the needle in terms of elections? Like the midterm elections are coming up. Biden's popularity has really shot up since announcing this forgiveness. So this is literally a study in our history. Can something like this move your needle politically? And so I don't think this challenge that these 22 Republican governors are going to make will get far, but I just wanted to inform you all of that. So I hope this video was helpful. You understand the 4 dates. You understand the states that will possibly tax you. Obviously, it's an incomplete list. There's 50 states, so be on the lookout. Be on the lookout in terms of will you owe state taxes. And generally that will be due when you file your taxes, unless you're in the state of Florida, in which case you don't file a state income tax, as an example. Or there's a couple other states like that, in which case I'm not 100% sure how they're going to go about taxing you if you don't file a annual state income tax return. But I just want to warn those whose states will subject you to a tax to look out for that. And then lastly, just know that there may be some political challenges, although I don't think they are likely to go through. But I just wanted to warn people about that. So that's another reason to apply for forgiveness ASAP. And of course, if you like this content, think anyone can benefit, please forward, please like, please subscribe. And LoanSense, here at LoanSense, we will be helping borrowers with their loan forgiveness application in October. So as soon as it's announced, forms are released, we'll probably take a few weeks to process that information and to be able to help people as soon as possible. It'll take us a little bit of time to set up, but just know we're here. We're here to help. We're here to interpret any letters you get back from servicers. We're here to really be helpful. so that you can achieve this loan forgiveness and hopefully, buy a home, do other things to meet your financial goals, start a family, get married. There's all kinds of things our generation wants to do. And we hope to be a part of helping you achieve that. So our website is myloansense.com. Be on the lookout for information, obviously through our emails, through our channel, but just know we are here on standby to always assist. If we obviously want to help people get their debt forgiven, and I am just so enthused because I keep on getting more and more news about how many people through the limited waiver we've helped get their loans forgiven already through the limited waiver program that Biden passed when he first came in. So we've helped people get tons of debt forgiven, and we will continue to do so, and we will do so with this more recent announcement. So let me know if you have questions. I love to answer them. Please leave a comment, ask your questions. Again, I've been seeing the questions, and as soon as we know more details on the programs, we will release them, and we will answer the questions we're receiving in video format as well as we get more answers. So please like, subscribe, and forward this, as well as check out our website. And I'm happy to help. Also, we have experts on standby who possibly know more about student loans than I do to actually help you. So if you have any questions, myloansense.com. I am looking forward to the next announcements being how Biden's going to help defaulted borrowers. So if you fall in that camp, you should have been taken out of default in this pause. But if you're suffering from the ramifications of default, we of course want to be here to support you as well. So again, myloansense.com. Have a great rest of your week.